It's been just a little over a year since I accidentally bought the Casio G-Shock GW-5000U. I have worn it every single day since then, and at the time, I thought it might be my favorite watch of all time. Is that still the case 1 year later? When I bought this watch, I was trying to buy the GW-M5610, and this one came by mistake. I contacted the seller, they told me I could just keep this watch. It's a much more expensive watch than the 5610. It has features that set it apart from a lot of the other G-Shock squares, and ever since I got this watch, it hasn't left my wrist. In my mind, this is basically the modern version of the original G-Shock square. Way back in 1983, they released the DW-5000, and this is sort of the modern equivalent of it. It still has that metal case, it has the screw back, but it has some modern features that make it a little bit more practical than that original G-Shock watch. So I told you I've been wearing this for a year. Obviously, I still like it, but let's take a closer look at this, see how it's held up over that year that I've been wearing it. And I've been wearing it doing concrete work. That's my actual real job. So I haven't been easy on this watch at all. So let's take a look at it, see how it's been holding up, and I'll tell you my thoughts after a year of owning the Casio G-Shock GW-5000U. The Casio G-Shock GW-5000U-1JF. If you've seen my original videos on this, you'll know that I got this by mistake. And when I did get it, it was only available in Europe and Japan. It looks like now, as I've been doing research on this, it is available on the Casio website in the US. The retail price is $300, which is pretty steep. I don't think I would spend $300 on this watch, but you can find it cheaper. You can find the Japanese version. You can find the European version. They're basically exactly the same. This has that updated module, the 3495 module. The GW-M5610U has that new module in it as well, so it's basically the exact same module in both of these watches. And the thing that really sets us apart, and this isn't going to be another review, this is a one-year update, but just to catch you up a little bit, this does have the solid diamond-like carbon metal case. If I can get it in the light so you can actually see that. So instead of having just a stamped metal back and then a resin case, this has a fully steel case with a screw back. Add some weight to it, add some durability to it. This does have the multiband 6 atomic time. Came originally with a soft urethane wristband. It is solar powered and it is 20 bar water resistant, so 200 meters. Like I said, same module inside as the 5610. I've been wearing this every single day for the last year. This has only left my wrist when I've gone into the shower, and not that being in the shower would hurt this thing, but I just want to wash my wrist under where my watch is, so I take the watch off. I've worn it in the lake, I've worn it in the ocean, I've worn it in the rain, I've worn it at work. And that's the big thing, because I do concrete work. I pour concrete for a living. And if you've ever poured concrete, you will know that concrete is very caustic. It's very abrasive. If you get concrete on things and then you try to rub it off, it'll often leave scratches. But take a look at this watch. I can't notice any obvious scratches. And this is just a mineral crystal face. It's not sapphire crystal. It's not super abrasion resistant. But the case too, like I hardly notice anything on here. There might be a couple little scuffs and scratches, but not really, or not the case, but the resin cover of the case. On the back too, I haven't noticed any serious scratching. On the metal case, you can see on the combi bracelet, now this didn't come with the watch, I purchased this separately. There are some parts that have been kind of scuffed. You can see some of the bare metal shining through under the black here. But again, this is the version 2 combi bracelet. It is still in perfectly serviceable shape. It works perfectly. This watch has never given me a single issue over the year that I've had it. And I thought when I got it, like, oh, you know, I'll wear it much of the time. I'll probably take it off when I'm working so it doesn't get ruined. I'll probably still be wearing my Bulova mechanical watch every once in a while. No, I have worn only this watch in the last year, and I haven't been happier with any watch I've ever owned. So what is it that I still love about this watch? I love that you don't even have to set it and forget it. You don't even have to set it. All you do is put in your time zone, and then you never have to think about it again. It auto updates with the precisely correct atomic time every single night while I'm asleep. The solar power works great. You can see right now it is on medium as far as battery power, and that's because it is wintertime. During the summer, it was always on high. In the winter, I'm often wearing more clothing. I often have a sleeve over the watch so it's not getting direct sunlight. And then also it's just usually overcast and rainy during the winter here in the Pacific Northwest. And so typically in the winter, it's going to be on medium for me. And then in the summer, it's going to be on high. I've never had any issue with it running out of power. It's very readable, very clear. I like how the readout is actually clearer than the 5610. It's very sharp. I love that it has that auto illumination. When you put your wrist up and it's in a dark area, it will light up the watch. You don't have to think about it at all. I love the very unobtrusive hourly chime that I have on this watch. It's not loud enough to be irritating, but it's just a slight little beep. It won't wake you up at night. But if you're just doing things throughout the day and you hear the little beep beep, and you're like, oh, okay, it's probably 3 o'clock, because I always know within an hour. I usually know within 15 minutes what time it is, but that little reminder is nice. World time is super useful. If we go through, there's our world time. I think I'm in Chicago right now for some reason. I can't remember why I have it set there. Showing you some of the functions. We have our snooze alarm. We have our stopwatch. We have our timer. And then back to our normal time. We have our date window there, our day of the week. Everything you need is on this watch. You don't have to think about it ever. The time is always right. The date will be right until I think 2099. It does automatic daylight savings. It just does everything. I love the aesthetics of this. I love how clean and simple it is. I love the square shape. I love the size. I love the heft of it. The fact that it does have that metal case gives it a little bit more of a solid feeling. Just everything about it is fantastic. If I put it on, you will see I have big hands, like very big hands, but my wrists are not super thick. I think they're only like 6 3/4 or something, but it doesn't look outsized on my wrist. Might look slightly out of proportion compared to my hands because my hands are so big, but it just fits great. It wears great. It feels great on the wrist. It never feels too heavy, but it also doesn't feel like it's just nothing. It's just fantastic. So there you have it. The Casio G-Shock GW-5000U 1 year later. This is still my favorite watch. I've been wearing it nonstop since I got it. There are other watches that are more beautiful, other watches that are maybe more technically impressive, have more features, but I can't think of any watch out there that is able to combine so much practicality, durability, and good looks into such a perfect package. 1 year later, the Casio GW-5000U is still my favorite watch.